What's good with you, YouTube? It's your boy Ron B, and this is Ron B Auto Vlogs, and I'm back at you again with another video. And in today's video, I actually am answering a question that I actually had myself, and I'm pretty sure if you're new to the car game or if you're interested at all in what I'm talking about, you have a question about it too. So my question was, what's the difference in the gas that I put inside my 2018 Ford Mustang Ecoboost? So when I got it from the dealership, I know for a fact that they put 87 in it because where I live locally, it's 87, 91, and 93. In some places, like here and there, you might get the E87, but for the most part, it's either going to be 87, it's going to be 91, or it's going to be 93. And my question was, what's the difference? I know in certain vehicles, it calls for a little bit higher level, maybe like premium or mid-grade or something like that, but I had no clue exactly what that meant. So I'm gonna pretty much answer that question in this video, and then I'm gonna also explain what I'm doing with mine, which grade of gas I'm putting in my vehicle. So just, I guess, a little backstory. What exactly do the numbers mean at the gas tank? So my understanding is each number represents the octane level, right? So 87 represents an octane level of 87, 91, 93, sometimes you have like 89 or something like that. They all represent the octane level. Higher octane doesn't necessarily mean more power. It doesn't directly relate, but you get better performance with higher octane. It's really what your vehicle calls for. So I have a 2018 Ford Mustang Ecoboost. It's a 4-cylinder. It's not the V8, but I can tell you when I converted from 87 over to 93, I did see a difference, right? And I checked all the blogs, I checked the forums, I checked a couple websites and stuff like that to try and figure out if it would damage my vehicle. And from what I've read, it doesn't seem to cause any type of like failures or problems or like knocking or anything in the vehicle. If anything, it actually helps increase the horsepower. So according to one of the forums that I read, most of what the specs are for the 2018 Ecoboost is based off of a 91 octane gas filled vehicle. So those numbers like the 310 horsepower and all this stuff about the torque and this and that, all of that is based off 91 grade gas. And apparently if you move it over to 93, you actually get an even higher boost. So I'm thinking if you're about 310 at 91, I'm guessing it's probably somewhere between like 20 and 30 horsepower is what they're saying. So they're kind of rating it close to like 350. Mind you, this is not to the wheel. This is apparently to the crank, but those numbers do apply to this vehicle. So switching that gas up does seem to make a difference. So like I said, the higher grade you go, the higher the octane. It's supposed to help increase performance, increase horsepower, things like that in your vehicle. For this one, it's rated at 91. So if you're using 87, you're actually not receiving all the horsepower and all the benefits that you should, which is something that I noticed. Like I said, when I switched mine over to 93, right off the bat, I'm reading some notes. So one of the things that I noticed was it accelerates quicker. So on the 87 grade gas, whenever I would hit the pedal and try and go, it was a little bit of hesitation. It felt a little bit sluggish. I felt it, but you know, I just thought it was the way the vehicle rode. It drove like that every time I drove it, you know what I mean? So I didn't notice the difference until I realized that it wasn't happening, and I was actually getting, you know, once I pushed that pedal, say the stop sign or a stoplight, if I hit that pedal, I can feel it. It just seems like the motor was running a little bit better. And I can say with the 93 grade gas, it actually does seem to stay at a higher RPM than it normally does. So when I drive, I usually notice that the RPM is around the 2. So I'm guessing that's 2,000 spins per minute. So on a 93, it seems to hang out at like around the 3 or like a little bit below it, maybe like 2.5 to 3. Somewhere around there, especially when it's like decelerating and you're moving down in the gears, it seems to hang up there, and you'll hear the motor like woo, you'll hear it spinning as it's going. So I noticed that it does seem to revolve a little bit better as far as like with the high octane. So it seems like it's actually getting up to those speeds quicker, and it seems to decelerate in the high RPM also. So it's one thing I did notice. Also, I noticed that the vehicle, once it gets up to like higher speeds, like maybe once you're up to like, oh, I don't want to say higher speeds, like, so once you're up to maybe like about 40 or something like that, like say if you're on the street, if you hit the pedal at 40 miles per hour, it will just take off. And I don't feel like it did that before. One of my hangups with this vehicle is that it doesn't accelerate well. Like say if you're going from a stop and you might just happen to be like street racing somebody and they have a V8 vehicle, that motor is going to take off. You know what I mean? So like when you're actually in the process of trying to race them or like trying to like stick into the race, from low speeds, it doesn't accelerate great. But in the higher RPMs, like once the vehicle is actually moving and going and you've like, switched into like some higher gears, it does seem to take off a lot quicker. I know from 40, if I'm on the highway, if I'm like, kind of just hopping on the highway, I'm going. If I hit that pedal, I'm gone. And I think a lot of that has to do with the gas that I'm putting in it. I didn't notice that before, but it's something that I'm having a lot of fun with right now. I also do see a quicker response on the pedal. That's that thing I was talking about earlier. I guess that kind of contradicts what I'm saying. There is a little bit better pedal response. I can definitely see it at higher RPMs. I can also see it from a standstill. Now, it's like I said, it's not going to be like super dramatic, but you will notice a difference. I've had this vehicle. I'm going on 3,000 miles right now. And I roughly switched it over somewhere close to maybe like 1,700 miles on the vehicle, 1,800 miles or something like that is when I switched it over to the 93. And ever since then, I've been having a lot more fun with it. Another thing is it seems to burn gas a little bit slower. I don't know if it's because I'm not driving as much as I was my other vehicle, but a tank seems to last a lot longer. When I say a lot longer, I might get an extra day and a half before I need to empty, I'm sorry, not empty. I might get another day and a half before I need to go ahead and refill my tank, which is love, you know what I mean? Because who wants to be paying all that money for gas like that? Another thing is the driving experience seems a little bit more sporty. So with the 93 gas, I do get the overall feeling of a sports car. The motor does seem to be revving. Like I said, it's a higher RPM, so it is kicking out a little bit more sound. The pedal is a lot more responsive. When I'm in the higher RPMs, I can get up and go. If I'm on the highway and somebody's trying to get smoked, I can go ahead and hit that pedal and go, and you can feel it. It'll put you in the back of your seat, you know what I mean? So I like what I get out of the 93. If you're curious, how do you do it, right? So how do you go from 87 gas or whatever it is you put in your vehicle to a higher octane? So what I did was I basically let all the gas run out. So I let the tank go. In this one, once you hit about 50 miles before empty, you'll get a little thing that pops up that says, hey, you're close to empty. Let that bad boy run down as much as possible. I mean, I'm talking like maybe 5 miles or something like that. Be fairly close to a gas station. Once you get that low, go ahead and fill the tank up, right? Because the goal is to mix with the gas that's already in there, but not mix a lot. So you want to leave as little 87 in there as possible and fill it completely with the 93 or whatever, the 93, 91, whichever one you want to go with. I do 93. Fill it up so that the octane is as high as it possibly can be, because you only got a little 87 and a whole lot of 93. Drive it around for a little bit. Obviously, you got to drive back from the gas station. I would say maybe within like 5 to 10 miles, you should start feeling the difference. If not, when you cut the vehicle off and let it sit and then turn the vehicle back on, go for your driving like you normally do, you'll feel it. If you hit the highway on your commute, whenever you're going after you change it, you'll definitely notice the difference. It definitely does have a lot more get up and go to it, a lot more kick in the pedal. And like I said, it just seems to wake up a little bit more than what it was with the 87. So I wouldn't even recommend putting 87 in the vehicle. I know these are newer vehicles. They have very low miles, so obviously you want to wait. You want to let the vehicle break itself in. Definitely let you at least hit 1,000 miles on the vehicle, probably 2,000 miles on the vehicle before you even attempt to try and switch the gas out if it's only been running on 87. But once you get past that, if you're curious as to what it is supposed to be, you know what I mean? Go ahead and try the 93 gas. See what you think. If you don't see any difference after, I would say, about a week or about a full tank, go ahead, switch back. It might not be worth it for you, but for me, it definitely does wake the vehicle up. And like I said, let the tank run down to empty on whatever type of gas you have right now. once it's down as low as possible, about as low as you feel comfortable with. I would say maybe anything under maybe like 10%, you know, 10 miles or something like that, go ahead, fill it up. I let mine drop all the way down to 0. You know, I'm pretty comfortable riding on E, and I know I can get where I need to get if there's a gas station around before. I just wanted to get as much as that gas out before I switched it over. So if you guys are interested, or if you were curious about converting yours over, or not converting, but just switching over to some high octane gas, I basically let you guys know what the difference is, what I think about it, what the benefits I got out of it, and you know how you can go ahead and do it. If you have different results or you disagree, please let me know, man. I'm all about the comments. I read all the comments on every video, and if there's some helpful stuff, I'll go ahead, maybe do a video about it. And if you have some questions, I can do a response video about this one, because I know I've read different things where people are like, don't do it, you know what I mean, don't do this, don't do that, you need to do this, it's not worth it, you know what I mean. So I'm curious, I'm learning. Like I said, I'm putting the gas in, I'm spending the extra money. So if you think I'm wasting my money, please let me know. If you think I'm actually doing the right thing because you're doing the same thing, let me know also. Other than that, man, just stay tuned. I'm dropping videos every day. I'm doing more car reviews during the week. I'm going to the car lots and I'm seeing what cars they have out there. I really want to try a Corvette. I love the Corvettes, you know what I mean. If I had the money to buy one, that's what I'd be driving right now. So I'm gonna try and get a Corvette in this week. I might get 2, you know what I mean, because I know they just dropped the new one, and I still want to like drive just the Stingray just to see what it's like, because I've seen some great prices on those Stingrays, and it's honestly not too far away from what I'm driving right now. So we're gonna see what we can do. But other than that, man, like the video, please subscribe, you know what I mean. I'm trying to grow my channel, and share it if you think it's interesting, you want other people to know. Share the video. Other than that, man, show some love, holla back at your boy, catch me in the next video.